Hey guys, what's going on? So, I am so excited. I am ready. I am ready to talk to you about your mental thoughts. So, right now, I just want to share with you my full intention with you right now. And my intention for you right now is that you realize that all that matters is how you feel and that you are not crazy. Because I know sometimes we can feel that way, all right? And I really want this, my intention for this is that it is a full skeleton for you to be able to use and transformational, instantly progressive guidance that you can use to your own alignment in your own life so that you can have yourself and your reality at the same time. All right. So let's go and jump right in. Okay. So the entire purpose of this video is to target our mental thoughts and how they affect us emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, so then we can best figure out how to move in alignment with what we want. And also, I'm going to give you guidance on how you can do that as well as we move through each and every one of those categories. Okay? So, moving through my notes, I want you to always remember to be your own first best friend. Like, first of all, you came into this world as your first best friend, and as such, we need to treat ourselves as such. And for those of us who have yet to experience what that feels like, I want you to think about what that would be like and try to incorporate that to ourselves. Think about maybe the best ways that we've treated others and take those pieces and put them together and treat ourselves as such. Okay? So I know that when it comes to overanalyzation, it's not really glorified to overanalyze, but we do it anyways. So we might as well use it to our advantage. So my intention, and I do this all the time, is I use overanalyzation to my advantage because I will overanalyze in the progression of what I'm wanting and doing it in a way where I'm questioning things and not so much in an assumption type vibe, if that makes sense. So, emotionally, so the way that it works is when we think thoughts, sometimes we perpetuate the thoughts, sometimes the thoughts come out of nowhere, sometimes something happens and we think something and it takes us down this emotional, horrible spiral. And so it's really important to remember that our thoughts really do control our emotions, and our emotions are how we manifest things. Okay? So when you are emotionally going down that rabbit hole, sometimes the best thing for you to do is just to throw your hands up in the air and let the emotional roller coaster just have its way with you, honestly. Just let it go. Go cry, go cuddle in your warm blanket snuggie. Okay, and just let the momentum just take you on the journey that you need to go on because it needs to happen. Okay? Because at some point, it's just, you don't want to be fighting the resistance. You don't want to be fighting that momentum. At that point, what you want to do is you want to not validate the negative thoughts in your head. So something that I used to have going on in my head all the time is I would think, oh, I'm a piece of shit or something, right? I'm not, obviously. But instead of, when those thoughts came up, I got to a point where instead of thinking the follow-up thought of validating it by saying, yeah, I am, okay, I would say, you know what? Yeah, that's how I feel right now. But it's not true. And I'm just going to love on myself right now. Okay. So you're not, so, and from this is what I'm talking about. From this, we're not invalidating our feelings. We're just not accepting that negative belief as our truth, which is a completely different thing. Okay. So, and that's what I mean when I'm talking about from a subconscious to a conscious level. That's what this is going to do, is that you're consciously changing your subconscious beliefs by when that thought comes up, because that's how you're feeling in your body, your feeling body. We're validating our feelings consciously, but we're changing those beliefs, and eventually we're not going to have those thoughts coming up, okay? And if they come up later for something else, that's not a step back. That's just, hey, this is another area in our lives where we need to realign our beliefs about ourselves. Okay, let's see. So when we are starting to, okay, I think that that's good. Let's move on to mentally. So when we have a thought that does not serve us, right? Like let's say you are just driving along, okay, and then you're thinking something and then you start thinking something else and it puts you in a really bad mood, okay? All of a sudden you're thinking something negative about somebody in your life or a situation that had happened, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to have the intention to start to stop when those thoughts start to happen. When you start to find yourself just going on in your day and then out of nowhere you're like pissed off and you're angry about something, and you weren't thinking anything of the sort like that before at all, have the intention to acknowledge that and go, whoa, wait a second, hold on a minute. What? I wasn't thinking anything like that before. Where did that come from? Why am I now thinking about that? That doesn't make any sense, okay? And then start to think, what was I thinking, before I had that thought? Because, again, what you think affects how you feel, and how you feel is how we manifest, okay? It's the difference between, well, actually, we'll skip that. Anyways, let's just continue with where we are. Okay. I think that for mentally, that's the base point of it all. Yeah. And so when you're starting to feel ease as well into mentally, let's go for that one as well. No, the eased mind finds clarity. Okay. So that's just what I want you to focus on too, is that when your mind is going crazy and you're thinking in the momentum of negativity and you're starting to not feel great about what you're thinking about, remember that if you're trying to remember something, give yourself a break and let it go, because you're not going to, it's not going to come up at that moment, okay? You're going to need to calm yourself down. You're going to need to ground yourself, and you're going to need to get to a place of ease, so then your mind can then have the ability to bring the clarity that you're asking for, okay? So in this, with our mental thoughts, and goes great for depression as well, those of us who are suffering from depression and anxiety too, when it affects our physical body. So our mental thoughts affects how we feel, which then affects how we physically feel. Okay, so not just emotionally, but physically. And then we're not eating enough, or we're overeating. Okay, so ways that we're going to bring our subconscious to our conscious minds, changing that belief. Okay, that whatever those mental thoughts that keep repeating, that we keep perpetuating these awful feelings and thoughts about ourselves and actions thereof, because we're coming from that space. I want you to do things that make you feel at ease, okay? So we are ignoring what other people are saying. We're ignoring any and all opinions that absolutely do not serve us. And it doesn't matter where it's coming from. If it's coming from somebody close to you, with love, do not take their opinion, okay? Because this is you. This is your alignment, okay? And that is highly important, all right? You are a bright light in your life, okay? How in the world are you going to keep your light burning if you let it dim because you're taking in all this other energy? You're not focused on keeping your light going, okay? We want to give from a space of overflow, and we can't do that if we don't have any fuel, any energy, to keep our light burning, all right? So, from a subconscious to a conscious level, we are going to strengthen our level of self-security, self-intimacy, self-connection, self-knowing, etc., self-love, okay? From a subconscious to a conscious level by letting ourselves know, and I tell myself out loud or to myself all the time, this is an act of me letting my subconscious know that I am capable of doing X, Y, and Z for myself. Okay, so for example, the clothes that you wear. It is highly important that your body feels safe, okay? Your feeling body feels very, very safe. So we want to wear clothes that we feel highly comfortable in at the time. I'm not telling you that you have to wear pajamas all day. I'm sure a lot of us have had enough of that. But even if not, I'm not hating. I'm actually thinking about getting some more comfy stuff. But wearing things that are comfortable for you. So if you are so down to wear heels that day, wear heels that day. If you are super down to wear flats that day, wear flats that day. It doesn't matter. Whatever shirt you feel like wearing, whatever it is that is your vibe that day, let it be what your alignment is for that day, okay? Even if you're going to work, go out of your way to wear your work clothes that are the most comfy to you, okay? If you have that, office job option. But regardless of where you are and what you're doing, your alignment is your alignment, and you have the choice to decide how you're going to meet up with your alignment the best. And just by going through a checklist of ask yourself, what do I have here that is going to best serve me and best serve my intention and my alignment and raise my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual vibration in doing this with that intention. And you don't have to say all of that. You can just have that intention and give yourself that moment to just acknowledge that intention and then move forward. Let the guidance just look around and just pick what feels great to you at the time and go with that, all right? So the clothes that you're wearing, the food that you're eating, okay? I know a lot of people are thinking about switching to a more veggie lifestyle. That is awesome, all right? But regardless, if you're into a rack of ribs or if you're down for, veggie ribs, which I found are super delicious, I want you to only care about what is best for your body at that time. I don't want you to care about what anyone else around you has to say about it, because your body, food is energy, okay? We are energy, okay? Food is a language, all right? And our food speaks a language with our bodies, all right? And we have to stay in our own alignment and move in the direction of our own alignment, all right, for what's best for us, okay? When we don't do that, there's resentment, there's anxiety, there's, towards ourselves and other people for letting ourselves be influenced, or for even listening to them, or for them saying anything, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we have the choice at the end of the day. And that's the thing that we need to stand up for. And actually, that gives us a lot more power. There's a lot more power in knowing I have a choice. I have a choice to make this decision. I have a choice to not make that decision again. Okay? I'm glad that I messed up here, or I learned my lesson, whatever, and, fill in the blank here, and now I know what I want to do and what I don't want to do. Now I know how I want to proceed and how I don't want to proceed. from that space. Okay, so doing things like eating foods that make us feel good and that will up level us, grounding foods as well. Staying in our alignment with what we eat, exercising, and what that looks like for us is super duper important. It raises our vibration. It makes you happy, which is really wonderful. Which is also a really good note for people who suffer depression as well. It just getting those endorphins up, it just really helps. But also, if you're not feeling like that, don't beat yourself up. Maybe start thinking about, control your thoughts. Start thinking about how what exercises you're gonna want to try. Okay, some stuff like that. Looking at yourself in the mirror, that's something that I know a lot of people struggle with, but it's definitely something that I found to bring a lot of self-connection. And I recently heard of this practice that I've started doing is, when you go to look at yourself in the mirror and then you look away a little too quickly, don't look away too quickly. Keep the gaze, admire, look at yourself right in between, your eyes. Look at yourself like in the pupils, like just like connect with yourself in the mirror and feel yourself, feel your energy, feel the love that's on the other side that's actually coming towards you, because it's not what you think. You're not really being judged by the universe, and sometimes we think we're being judged by our reflection, and it's not the case. So touch yourself. Okay, we're still talking about the physical. Okay, getting our subconscious and our conscious mind on the same page so that we can move in the direction of what we want. When we feel better, that allows us the opportunity to be able to move in the direction of what we want, because we're feeling at ease, we're feeling more mentally clear, we're feeling a lot more progressive, we're feeling a lot more communicative, we're feeling a lot more able to connect with others, and we're able to make decisions from a space of clarity too, because we're not bogged down with all the emotional this, that, push and pull from the negative beliefs that no longer serve us anymore. So getting our physical bodies on board, self-touch, touching yourself, okay, giving yourself a hug, all right, feeling your face, playing with your hair. I don't care what it is, but as long as you're showing yourself the love that you deserve, that's all I care about. Having that self-connection is what I care about, all right? Hugging yourself, obviously. Showers, I found, water is the purest form of energy close to light, and I've found that there is a lot of clarity that comes in when you're taking a really good shower. Some places are experiencing drought, so something for that. I know that it's really a cool idea to play a song that you like and try and get what you need to get done in that time, but I don't want you to beat yourself up at all if you take a little bit more time. I want you to be in your alignment as much as possible, okay? I just want you to stay in your alignment as much as possible. And that isn't to say that you're always going to be in your alignment. I'm certainly not always in my alignment. And if we were always in our alignment, we would be dead. So we're here to experience, we're here to expand, we're here to grow, we're here to learn, we're here to be in our alignment, not be in our alignment, be in our alignment, not be in our alignment, repeat, and continue on and just be humans and live life and share what we have and experience. So also for physical, something that I found is really helpful is rage. I call it rage writing. Okay, when I have a lot of emotions going on and I have a pen and I'm just writing down all the things that I feel on a piece of paper. And a lot of times when I'm doing this exercise, I'm not even looking at the paper. I'm not looking at what I'm writing. I'm seeing the words that I'm writing in my head, and I'm just allowing myself just to write everything out. As long as I know that I'm writing that word out, I know that I'm getting it out. And that practice allows that energy that is bouncing around inside of you like a ping pong ball, a place to go. Okay? And it may come up again, but for me, my experience is it's not as strong when it comes up again as it does the first time when you're doing this practice. Okay. In fact, I found that the more that I do this practice, the more helpful it is. And the more that I've shared this practice with other people, I found that it's helped a lot of people, but also I've noticed that there's a lot of people that I've shared this with that have already known about it and have already been using it and incorporating it in their lives. So that's awesome. I encourage you to try it if you feel aligned to do so. What else? Physically. So this is something that I really want to touch on as well, because we human out here. That's why. Self-medication. I used to call myself the queen of self-medication. I said it for years that I am the queen of self-medication because I would just dive into whatever I was feeling like I wanted to dive into at the time. And there's things that I would touch and there's things that I would not touch. But regardless of what I was down to do and what I wasn't down to do, none of it was beneficial for my body, obviously, and was only beneficial for, numbing the pain, which is what I wanted it to do. Okay. So I am not here to shame anybody nor encourage anybody to self-medicate. But what I want you to do is I want to encourage you to not beat yourself up for being where you are. Okay, I want you to acknowledge that you have an intention for where you want to be. And I want you to, yes, I want you to do your due diligence to move to that place, but I also don't want you to expect yourself to go from A to Z. I want you to, emotionally is what I mean. For example, I smoked cigarettes for a really long time, and so it's really difficult to go cold turkey. I know a lot of people have been able to go cold turkey, and at one point I was able to go cold turkey, but for a lot of years I was trying to quit, and I was doing I tried the gum and I tried the patches and things, and it just was really, really difficult. And there were a lot of people who would come around and say negative things to me, even strangers, which I think, why would a stranger be so bold as to walk up to you and be in your business? Like, don't do that. My business. That is not my original, but I'm just saying, it's crazy to me. But it doesn't stop at strangers. Obviously the people closest to me care about my well-being and want me to live a really long time, as I intend to live a really long time. 100 Club. Hey, I'm going to be joining that ish. That's my intention. But, and I still had that intention even as a smoker, and I didn't want to be a smoker forever. But at the same time, it was really important that I wasn't shaming myself for being a smoker, even though there was a lot of times that I was shaming myself for being a smoker. Okay. Smoking causes cancer. We know this. Okay. That didn't stop me for smoking for years and years and years. Okay. And neither did all the negative comments that people were throwing at me about what they felt that I should do with my life at the same time. That didn't make me not want to smoke anymore. That wanted me to smoke even more, actually, because it's like, you're annoying me right now. I just want to go have another cigarette. Yeah, my face. So I don't want you to shame yourself for being where you are. People want to applaud when they're witnessing the end of the journey, like, oh, you did this horrible thing, but it's okay because you're not doing it now. But nobody really wants to encourage somebody when they're in the middle of it, so there's things like that. So when it comes to self-medication, that's just really what I wanted to share, is that, yes, see your goal, but don't, I don't want you to think that shaming yourself isn't going to help you not quit. Implementing new habits and working on, tactical things that's going to help you quit is what's going to help you quit. So I don't want you to talk crap to yourself, because that's not productive, and you don't deserve it. and someone you care about doesn't deserve to hear that. And it's not really progressive. We say it's constructive criticism, but it's not. Okay. Um, Something that I found that was really awesome is that I'd be like, okay, well, a practice I started was I would stop smoking while I was driving. That was a huge help. Okay. That was a little difficult at first because, you smoke after you eat. You smoke just because you're bored. You smoke because you're in your car. You smoke because there's other people smoking. Like, you smoke for whatever, because whatever, you're sad, or like whatever, you smoke or whatever. So, starting little practices like that, like not smoking when I drive, was really helpful. So, maybe that's a really big one to start at, but the point isn't that you go and do that today. I'm hoping you understand that my point is, you know, you, where you are is good enough. That's my point. Okay. And I know that you have an intention for where you want to be. You know you have an intention for where you want to be. Your source self not only knows that you have an intention for where you want to be, but is also constantly 24/7 guiding you to where you want to be in little nudges, like go over here and go over here and go over here in the direction of what you want, with things that make you feel good. So if your path of least resistance is to have a cigarette, I'm not shaming you, okay? But don't think that means you're going to be smoking for the rest of your life, and don't let other people make you feel like you're going to be smoking for the rest of your life, okay? You have a path, so I trust you to follow it in the direction that you want to, as you should trust yourself, and you do, which is why you're here, and I commend you for that. I command you for that. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to say about that. Spiritually. Okay. What are we going to say about spiritually? Okay. Honestly, what I was talking about really blended the spiritual stuff in here already. Now that I'm looking at my notes. Because I don't really feel aligned to share any of these random things. Okay, so all the times that we were talking about so far, blending the subconscious and the conscious with the feeling state things that we were talking about, like the foods and the clothing, and the self-talk, when we're letting the momentum of the roller coaster emotionally and mentally, questioning our thoughts when we're having them. That is how we're blending it spiritually as well. Okay, so with that, what I really want to do is I want to close with a heart meditation. All right, so this is something that I want you to always go back to when you're feeling the need. All right, and it's just going to be really brief. What I want you to do is just get a little comfortable. Inhale through your nose, out your mouth. Okay. And this is going to help us bring clarity. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to put your hand over your heart. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Concentrating on your heart space as you breathe. Good. And as you breathe, know that all the clarity is coming in through the air. So as you breathe in through your nostrils, know that all the air that's coming in, filling your brain and all the way through your cells and your blood, is straight, pure, positive clarity. All designed to bring you straight into your alignment so that you can progress how you intend to and how you want to. focusing on your heart space, knowing that this clarity is just flowing all throughout and vibrating and illuminating and expanding throughout your entire being from a cellular level. And just breathe in the space. A deep breath. The entire universe is with you. Feel the entire universe around you. And it's filled with infinite love that is expanding and growing. And as you come back, realize that all of this is being pulled straight into your heart space. Moving your fingers and your toes. And it's just being completely sucked into your body. Flowing you up from the base of your spine to the top of your head through all of your chakras and all others out. Namaste. That was wonderful. All right. So I think that was a great first base for mental thoughts. Okay. Remember, be your first best friend. And I commend you for stepping into your power, because I know, man, it is not easy. So next, we're going to talk about intentional meditation. Difference between meditating and intentional meditation, why they could both be super beneficial, but why intentional meditation is really the way to go. Peace, love, fire to you, and kind to yourself. All right? That's non-negotiable. Self-love is mandatory, not optional.